Good afternoon, everybody. So, this is our week 3 lesson for English. Lesson 1, inferring the meaning of compound words using context clues. Okay, so this week you will learn to define a compound word, identify words in sentences, classify a compound word according to its type, infer the meaning of compound words based on given context clues like synonyms, antonyms, and word parts. Okay, but before we proceed with the lesson, let us have our review. So, before we start with a new lesson, remember that we always begin it with a review of the past lesson that we took up. Okay, so I want you to fill in the blanks with the correct term that will complete the sentences. Pick out the answer below. In your notebook, you can start writing the answer which you think will fit the definition given from 1 to 5. Okay? I will give you 2 minutes to write your answers, and then after 2 minutes, you can check out if you got the answers correctly. Okay? So our time starts now. Okay, we still have 1 more minute. Alright, let us check the answers. Okay, so the first one, a person who deposits or places money in a bank is called a blank. Number 2, a small paper form we fill out to withdraw money from a bank is called blank. Number 3, a place where we can safely put our money and earns interest is a blank. Number 4, an employee of the bank whose job is to help bank customers with their banking needs, blank. And number 5, a small paper form that a person includes with the bank deposits is called a blank. So we discussed this lesson last week. Let me see if you got all the answers correctly. Okay, so the first one, our answer is depositor. So if you are a person who puts your money in a bank, you are called a depositor. The form that we use to withdraw money is called a withdrawal slip, which you also answered last week. And a place where we can safely put our money and it will earn interest is called a bank. Number 4, an employee of the bank whose job is to help bank customers with their banking needs is called a bank teller. And lastly, a small paper form that a person includes with a bank deposit is called a deposit slip. Alright, if you got 5 answers correctly, very good. That means you remembered all the lesson that we discussed last week. Okay? Now, so let's proceed with the next lesson. Compound words or compounds. Probably you've been seeing words like this, but you are just not aware that these are what we call compounds or compound words. So what are compound words? These are words formed by putting 2 or more words together to form a new word with a new meaning. To understand the meaning of the compound, it is important to determine the meaning of each word that makes up the new word. So, you are putting together here 2 words. If you look at the example, we have the word ice and the word berg. If you put them together, it is called iceberg. Ice has its own meaning. It is the solid state of water. Berg has its own meaning as well, which is a mountain of glacier. When you put them together, a new meaning is formed. The word iceberg is a floating ice that has separated from a glacier. So I like to show you a picture of iceberg and iceberg. Okay, so here we have ice This is the berg, a mountain of glacier, a glacier of ice, no? An iceberg, it is a big chunk of ice that was separated from a glacier. So that is what an iceberg looks like. Okay, so this is an example of a compound word. We put together the word ice and berg to form the word iceberg. That is a compound word. So there are three types of compound words, no? We have the first one, which is closed, like we have the examples: someone, seaplane, raincoats, newspapers. Open, look at these words, no? Time zone, home port, mother tongue, hot dogs. So two words, but if you look closely, there is a space between them. The third one is what we call hyphenated compounds. So here, a combination of either two or three words, but they are connected by a hyphen in between, like mother, hyphen, of, hyphen, pearl. So this is a sample of a hyphenated compound word. Son-in-law, passers-by, name-calling. So the three types are closed, open, and hyphenated. Alright, remember, compounding is joining two or more words together to make them one word with a new meaning. This new meaning of the compound word may be the same as the individual meaning of its component words or may be different. Sometimes, the meaning is similar to the individual words, but there are times that the meaning is totally different from the meaning of the two combined words. Okay? Compound words may be closed, written as one, open if it is written with space between words, or hyphenated if it is connected by a hyphen. Okay. The meaning of compound words can be inferred. When we say inferred, you will get the meaning by reading in the sentence with context clues given to them. So what are samples of context clues? We have synonyms. So synonyms, one or two or more words of the same language that have the same meaning. Okay, so words with the same meaning are what we call synonyms. Antonyms are words of opposite meaning. Okay, so let me give you a sample of a synonym first. Beautiful, pretty, charming. Those are synonyms, no? They mean the same. Antonyms are opposites, like black and white, hot and cold. Those are antonyms. Inference clue is a kind of context clue. In an inference clue, some kind of information is given in the sentence to help you figure out the meaning of the unfamiliar word. So there are times you are reading a sentence, but there are some vocabulary words that you are not familiar with. So sometimes you have to look it up in the dictionary, but there are some clues hidden in the sentence that will tell you what the meaning of that vocabulary word is without checking the dictionary. That is an inference clue. Let's have a practice exercise. So, I want you to identify the compound words used in the following sentences and tell if it is an open compound, a closed compound, or hyphenated compound. So, first, you look for the compound word in each sentence. After identifying them, you write your answer and then tell me whether it is an open compound, a closed compound, or a hyphenated compound. We have an example. I bought a ball pen yesterday. So in this sentence, the word, the compound word is ball pen. And ball pen, because they are close together, there's no space in between, it is a closed compound. So for each number, you have two answers each. Okay, so again, in your practice notebook or in your notebook, I want you to answer this exercise from 1 to 5. I will give you another 2 minutes to identify the compound words and tell whether it is open, closed, or hyphenated. Okay, our time starts now. One more minute. Okay, let's have 10 seconds more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, ball pens up. Let's check your answers. Okay, so here the answers are, oops. Okay, the first one we have bedroom. Bedroom is a closed compound. The next one is dinner table. There's a space between them, so it's an open compound. High school, space again, open compound. Up to date, there are hyphens in there, so it is a hyphenated compound. And the last one, merry-go-round, there are hyphens again, so this is a hyphenated compound. Okay, so for our first activity, you're going to write this in your notebook. So, copy the table, 3 columns, and you have to give 5 samples each of compound words. Follow the table below. The first one is done for you. So, you're going to write 5 open compounds, 5 closed compounds, and 5 hyphenated. So, example, open new moon, close grandmother, hyphenated mother-in-law. Okay? How can you find answers to this exercise? You can probably ask for help, or you try to look around if you will find some compound words around you, or you can Google them. Alright? Good luck. Next one. For activity 2, I want you to read and study the sentences below. Look for the compound words that were used in each sentence. Find out what they mean in these sentences, then answer the questions that follow. So here we have a clip from a story from our book. Okay, so the girls were halfway up the tree, and when the flood water hit it midway, they held on as tightly as they could. Reaching the hill crest, they saw the destruction made by the busted dam, including the trees and plants on the other hilltop. Alright, so I've seen several compound words. What are we going to do? Let us look at week 3 activity 2. So these are the questions. Answer the following questions and get your answers from the short story. Okay, the first one, number 1, identify the 5 compound words used in the sentence. Write your answer in your notebook. So that means there are 5 compound words that can be found in the short story. Number 2, which word in the first sentence means the same as halfway? So halfway is a synonym of another word. What word is that? Number 3. Which word in the second sentence is synonymous or the same to Hillcrest? And lastly, number 4. How do you call these words? Are they synonyms or antonyms? Okay? So, the number 2 and 3, tell me whether they are synonyms or antonyms. Okay? So, that's what you will answer for activity 2. Activity 3. Find the meaning of the underlined compound word from the rectangular box. Write your answer in your notebook. So here we have items 1 to 10. The words are underlined, and all you have to do is look for the synonym of the word that has the same meaning as the underlined word. Okay, so you will get your answers from the list below, like Homeland Airport, front page, property, diligent, toys, crinkled decorative paper. That is one description. Head of an editorial staff, freelance, mother of one spouse. Alright? So, we have 3 activities for this week. Okay, so, I hope that was clear for everybody. If you need to remember or if you're confused, or some of the things are not clear, just go back to the video, watch it again, so you will understand what to do. Okay, but that's it for now. I'll see you again next time. Okay, goodbye.